I will add to that, Bruce, that being a regional club, the parent club is the Antique Automobile Club of America, and that is the oldest antique automobile club in America, the AACA for short. And we are a local region or local chapter of that parent organization, and they provide our club with many benefits. When someone joins our club, and again, I stress that you don't need to have an antique automobile to join our club. You join our club and also at the same time have to join the national organization. And for that, you get that magazine, that Antique Automobile magazine, and that is really a slick magazine, very nicely done, and well worth the price of that membership.
All right. I remember when I joined, I think back in the mid-90s, most of the pictures were black and white. Now they're color, and you really, it's just amazing what some people have done with these automobiles. And we're talking a lot of these vehicles, you know, good amount over 6 figures.
It's true.
It's really something. As if a person has a car that qualifies as an antique auto and joining the club, and I understand that there are some, I don't know if I'd say perks is the right word, but there's some advantages of having the antique auto plates with regarding insurance. Can you address that a little bit for our audience?
Well, sure. There's several aspects to, or advantages, I'll say, to owning an antique automobile when it comes to insurance and registration. If the state statutes allow that a car 20 years or older is termed a antique automobile. At that point, you can register that automobile as an antique, and you then receive antique automobile plates for that car through the DMV, and that car then gets anchored to a $500 evaluation as far as local taxes go. So the local towns cannot tax that car for anything higher than that $500 cap. The other thing is, the other perk is that when the car reaches 25 years old, 25 years old exempts the car from emission standards. So you no longer have to worry about taking the car for an emissions test at when it reaches 25 years old. The insurance thing is very good. Most antique car insurance companies insure these cars, and they know they don't get a lot of use, and they're cared for very well. So therefore, the rates for these insurances can be, for an antique car, as little as $100 or less even, depending on your coverage, for an entire year.
Right. Yeah, I believe that mine is, you know, maybe around 150 or so, and there are some stipulations that go along with that.
Mileage caps.
Mileage caps. It cannot be used as a primary vehicle. I think also it has to be garaged, I believe.
Locked.
Right.
But it's
right. I think in that regard, they're trying to kind of ensure that these cars aren't used as daily drivers,
right,
and people trying to take advantage of the good deals.
Now, as far as the website, Paul, can you tell us a little bit about more about the website?
It's still in the development phases. Some of the very basics are in place, such as we have a page, we have links to different pages like most websites, and we have our club history, we have a link to membership. I have a link to, I convert the newsletters to a PDF format, which most people have, and they can look up a newsletter and print one off the website if they didn't get one in the mailing, or if they're not a member or something. There's I'm starting a page for featuring different members and their cars, so that there'll be a sort of like something where you can look up and see how members acquired their cars, you know, if they're restoring them themselves or if they sent it out for restoration. And then I have a page where we have a calendar of events page, and we also have a link to websites for other clubs. So we're trying to make it an interactive tool for members and to keep up with what other members are doing.
Right. That sounds great. Now, I know that you don't have to own an antique automobile, but I know that we all do. Tell us a little bit, Paul, about yours, and then we'll go to Bob.
I'm looking forward to the day I can actually drive mine.
Okay.
I've been for a ride in it when I bought it, but that was in unrestored condition. That was the way it was. It was put together and it was running, but it was not restored. So when I purchased it, I disassembled everything, and it's, I'd say, about halfway through the restoration. The frame and the body have all been media blasted and epoxy primered, and it's at a restoration shop right now where it's getting paint. So that'll be nice to see that come together. That should be done by the spring.
Yeah.
It's a 29 Model A.
Oh, very nice. And how long has it been?
Longer than I would like.
These things do take a little longer, and is it maybe a little over the expected budget?
That's the other issue. Yes.
I know that well
It
myself.
has sat idle for a year or two at a time where there was no work done
Yeah.
when it went to the home improvement projects rather than the car.
Right. I hear you. Now, Bob, I'm going to ask. I've seen several different cars over the last few years in your driveway. I'm
Well,
not sure how many you have, but tell us a little bit.
I would say that people with cars, and I'll say most of the members of the club get into a lifetime love affair with old cars, and they're in it for the lifetime enjoyment of it. And it seems like one is never enough.
I think yours have multiplied.
Well, along with, and I'll say that a lot of cars in the club are not restored cars. There are a lot of driver cars, right. A lot of cars that are in the project stage. So there's a lot of different aspects to the club array of cars that they own. And I'm no exception, I guess. I have a 71 Cadillac that is my cruiser car, and I use that for regular use. But you know, like I say, one is never enough. Actually, I have retained a lot of older folks tend to connect with old cars from their past.
From their youth.
Their youth. You said it. But and with that in mind, I still have my very first car. In fact, it's sitting in my driveway. It's not usable at this point, but I still have the very first car that I ever owned. It's a 1949 Pontiac convertible.
Wow.
Still have that. And my wife's car, her very first car, or second car, I should say, is a '68 Pontiac Le Mans, and that still sits there, ready to go.
That's terrific. As I say, I know that, you know, it seems like I see different models in your I guess it's driveway, not parking lot. Well, I only have one, and that's the only one that I've ever had. It's actually an old World War II Willys, 1945 Willys. My dad bought it before I was born. Bought it in '49 as Army surplus, and little history that goes along with that is not just, you know, how long it's been in the family. That was my ride senior year in high school. And had it restored about 10, 12 years ago. And as with Paul, you know, took a little longer than anticipated, and the person that did the restoration actually lives in Danbury now. At the time was in Norwalk, but gave me an estimate, and I would have to say that probably ended up tripling what the actual estimate was. But once you're in,
you're in.
Know, you may as well do it right.
Well, I know, Bruce, your Jeep is a fine example and very nicely restored. And I expect that at some point you're going to want to mount a machine gun on that Jeep. But one of the nice things about being a member of the club is that we all enjoy each other's cars. And again, I can't stress enough that you really don't need to own an automobile, an antique car or truck to be part of our membership, but it makes it more fun. But you can, as an aside, enjoy everybody else's vehicle. So you feel like you have access to many more of these antique cars than you would otherwise. It's a lot of fun.
access where you can actually ride in them too,
Yeah,
on tour
sure.
events. I mean,
Tour events
I
and
haven't ridden in my
parades.
car, but I go in other Model A's.
Right.
So, I mean, you get to experience that.
It's really just a lot of fun.
I know that here in Brookfield we have a yearly Memorial Day parade. I've been in that a couple of times, and I know you have as well. And actually, a few years back, I think it was 2006, Newtown has a Labor Day parade. I was in that. I think a lot of the guys were from the club as well. New Fairfield, I believe, has a parade.
Yeah, July 4th parade.
Danbury, New Milford. It's
Bethel.
something. Bethel, yep.
Yep.
I was in the, well, I think you were too, in the
Yep.
one for
Just another
this
opportunity.
this past
Yeah.
fall.
Right. The Barnum
The
parade.
Barnum Parade, that's it.
It was a lot of fun, and the more folks we have out to these parades and things, the more camaraderie we have, and just to enjoy showcasing the cars. Seems the general public always enjoys seeing old cars and trucks
I think so, and I
and
know
Jeeps.
and I know, when I'm on the highway and I see an old model with the antique plates, you always kind of give a little honk and a thumbs up. It's good to see them and kind of keep the history going. So at this point, I think we're going to wrap up, and I hope that you've enjoyed our show, Brookfield Public Advocate. Again, I'd like to thank our guests, Bob Brown and Paul Tansky, for helping to provide some insight on the hobby of antique cars. If you have suggestions, ideas, or comments, please let us know. Our email address is brookfieldpublicadvocate@yahoo.com. I expect to upload portions of tonight's program on YouTube shortly. And again, thanks for watching, and good night. So I don't have any idea how long that was, but I think we were kind of running out of steam a
At
little.
the end of the material.